Hello and welcome back to Frostbite Live. I'm your host Jack Smicko, hailing from St. Catharines. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today Matt, aka halfdecentheart. Thank you, Matt, for coming to the studio today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. If you want to start by introducing yourself.
I'm Matt. I am a bass player, multi-instrumentalist, but primarily a bass player, and more recently identifying as a performer-composer. And sometimes vocalist. Originally from Toronto and now in St. Catharines. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, welcome, and thank you again for being a part of Frostbite Live. If you want to start by describing your sound.
Oh boy. So as a player...
Low frequencies?
Yeah. And sometimes... So, I think a lot of bass players get caught... especially when bass players start to get very noodly and very, very busy when they're playing. They often get accused of being bass players that just try to sound like guitar players. Mm-hmm. I always say I'm a bass player that tries to sound like a piano player.
Oh!
So yeah, low frequencies, but also the high frequencies. And I'm really big into just like chordal stuff and harmony. Usually tonal harmony and just things that sound really pretty.
Yeah.
A friend of mine uses the term emo ambient.
I like that
for her music, and I feel like that's a really cool term to adopt, and I kind of want to use it too.
That's amazing.
But yeah, as a player, I do so many different things, and like, I don't really know where I'm gonna go next. So it's kind of hard to put myself in a box, and like how I sound right now is just kind of how I sound right now, and who knows where I'm gonna go from there.
Well, there you go. I definitely haven't seen a bass guitar be played in quite that way before. It was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Do you want to talk a little bit about what went into writing that first song that you played for us today?
Yeah. So that song is called Be Well, and I never name my pieces until way after I've written them, but a lot of the music that I write is very primal. It's not often that I work on a piece over weeks and weeks and meticulously piece it together.
Yeah.
It's usually just one night where I'm like feeling big feelings or just have an idea that I really need to put down, and then I just sit down and I don't do anything else but work on this tune. And I also have a process where once I record the tune or I record a demo of it, I have to listen to it a million times.
Yeah.
And I won't stop listening until I pass the honeymoon phase, where I'm no longer just in love with the new thing that I wrote. And that's when I can finally be critical of it and get back to revising and making it better. But yeah, that tune just came from one of those nights where long day, lots of big feelings, and needing to find a healthy way to process those feelings.
There you go.
So just pick up the big old 6-string bass and let it fly.
I like that. I really like that. How long have you been writing and creating music for?
So collaboratively, I've been writing music since the age of, I'm going to say 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Where that's when I started playing music with friends and forming a band and trying to write original music, even though we barely knew how to play our instruments yet.
Yeah.
So that's my first experiences trying to write original material. And then over the years, with my favorite players being like more virtuosic bass players like Victor Wooten, Marcus Miller, and seeing these guys write their own solo material and be band leaders. Even though I was playing bass in bands, I would like write bits and pieces on my own that would just never be shown to the world.
Mm-hmm.
I went through periods of uploading recordings, like cell phone recordings, to SoundCloud, but people wouldn't hear that stuff. And so it wasn't until I moved to St. Catharines about 3 years ago where I finally had the idea of taking these bits and pieces that I'd written over the years and start formulating something that I can actually treat as like my primary musical project. And yeah, that's what I've been doing since then. So in this form, this like solo material, I would say for the past 3 years is when I've actually been seriously writing and performing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool. And what made you want to center your sound around the bass guitar?
When I was 14, or really when I was like 12 or 13, and I wanted to start playing music, and I like fantasized about being on a stage and having all these fans. Because I had an older brother who was also playing music at the time, and he was in high school, and he had other friends who were playing in bands. I kind of got a glimpse of what it's like to navigate trying to be in bands as like a high schooler. And it hit me from an early age that if I wanted to be in bands, it's going to be much easier as a bass player than as a guitar player.
Yeah.
Because there's a million guitar players and like no bass players. So
we always need more bass players.
Yeah, I was like, if I start playing bass, I'm going to be in like a million bands. It's going to be sick. And so that's why I originally chose the bass. It was a practical thing.
Awesome.
But then over the years, because it was my primary instrument, like Victor Wooten says, the bass guitar is not necessarily, like he doesn't necessarily write things for the bass guitar because he wants to write things for the bass guitar. He's just writing music, trying to make art, and the bass happens to be the instrument that he's most proficient at.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel now. Like, I'm just using the tool that I know how to navigate the best.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And brave statement here, but I think that bass players are, as an audio engineer myself, are highly underrated. Is there anything you would want to like hear or see bass players do more often?
Yeah, I think bass players should just, let themselves be artists. I mean, I say this about bass players, but I mean this about musicians in general. I think so many musicians get caught about being in bands and being guitar players, and I don't know, really getting sucked into the culture that they found themselves in. But I think just taking a step back and letting yourself actually just really express yourself and use your instrument as your means to express yourself, I think that's beautiful. And like,
Yeah.
I think for bass players primarily, I don't see a lot of bass players who are really interested in writing music and using the bass to express themselves emotionally. And I think that's why over the years I've felt the need to add more strings.
Yeah.
Even though I'm playing bass, I just want it to be capable of carrying more emotion and communicating more and more different thoughts and ideas.
Beautiful. Amazing. Now, speaking of bass, I think you got another song to play for us today. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, this next song is, shit, I don't know if I have a name for this one.
Quick, Frostbite improvise. What's the name?
Holy shit, I actually wrote the name down for my last set list, and I, like, thought of a name on the spot.
Yeah.
And hold on, give me a second, I'm actually going to pull it up.
Yeah, go for it.
And we're going to lock it into the lore.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, it has to be named this afterwards.
Yeah, this tune, by the way, since we're at it, the idea for this tune came from just having this chip on my shoulder and feeling like everyone... I was afraid that people were going to know me as just the ambient bass guy who was just playing my bass through a million effects all the time and relying on those effects. And I kind of wanted everyone to also understand that I just take playing really seriously. And at the end of the day, I am just like wholly in love with trying to navigate my instrument and be the best that I can be just with me and the instrument. So I wanted to write something that felt like really full and complete without the use of all those effects. And yeah, that's what I came up with. And the name is...
Take your time, we'll cut right to it.
Oh, it's called Lately.
There you go.
There it is.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. second song, that was how the bass players say stinky. Kind of slappy, kind of beautiful. Getting back into it, I want to ask, what inspires you to create these songs?
So many different reasons. At the end of the day, I think what makes me keep coming back to play music, and not just playing but writing, is it's such a different mode of expression than speaking, and it's a way of telling stories and trying to communicate how you feel or what's on your mind in a way that isn't so what's like direct and I don't know, not so like specific and not reliant on words necessarily, but more on like expression and feeling and like the mood. Yeah. So I write music and I keep on playing this kind of stuff because it just helps me kind of take how I'm feeling and kind of put pen to paper, so to say.
Yeah, for sure. And are there any messages or moods you're trying to convey with these songs?
I think just wanting to be heard, wanting to be understood a lot of the times, and hoping that in that pursuit I can make other people feel like it's valid for them to also want to be heard. Not just to be heard, but that desire to be heard doesn't make them weird.
Yeah.
Or isn't selfish. It's a very human thing to want to be understood.
Yeah.
And to try to reach for it.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That is absolutely beautiful. And how do you know when one of these songs are finished that you're creating, you know? When do you feel good about it? When are you ready to play it on stage, you know?
You don't really. When it comes to live performance, I do a lot of improvising and I do a lot of patchwork. I generally don't like when I go to watch live music and the performer or the artist is just going, you know, song by song. Like, here's a song, stop, stage banter.
Yeah.
Here's another song, stop, stage banter. I hate that. I want people to be captured by live performance the way they'd be captured by theater or by a movie.
Okay.
So whatever it is that I write, when I perform it live, I try to patch it together through like interludes, or even if I am speaking to the audience, I want it to be very purposeful and feel like I'm carrying them from point A to point B throughout this performance. So sometimes I perform things that I don't consider finished yet, and I'll just arrange my set in a way where I perform what is written, and then I'll write a new interlude, or I'll make room for an improvisational passage to segue into the next tune.
Beautiful.
And then like sometimes I just do it enough to the point where I'm like, you know what? I guess this tune's cool the way it is, and I don't need to expand it anymore.
Yeah, I like that.
And I'm also not afraid of the idea of like anything that I have written, even if it's gone to a point of having released it into the world, being able to revisit it and expand on it and then release it again. Not afraid of that, and I think artists should be totally fine with doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, on to more serious notes here. Kiss, Marry, Kill, 3 of your songs. The real nitty-gritty of the questions, if you will.
Oh.
If they have names.
Kiss,
if not,
Marry,
you can just note
Kill. I have one tune that I've released on my first EP, which is called A Sampler of Sorts. That EP is just, it's a combination of tunes, or I should say a compilation of tunes that I recorded over the years, just like bedroom recordings that, again, never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
And I decided I don't have anything to show for like my solo composition stuff, so I took the old recordings, picked and chose ones that I thought were good enough to show the world, had them mastered, and released them. So if you look at each track, there's a year beside the track name, and that's the year that the track was recorded or written.
Yeah.
I think in one of the cases it was there's one track that has 2 years because 1 year was when it was originally recorded, and then the other year is when it was revisited.
Yeah, you came back to it?
Yeah. And then I just like manipulated the audio and I don't know, did some crazy shit.
Interesting.
But I have one tune on that EP that was like a cool snapshot of how I wrote music at the time. And I'm still proud of it. And when I started performing solo under the name Half Decent Heart, I was still playing the song live.
Mm-hmm.
But for different reasons, like more like technical reasons about how to navigate the bass, it's hard to play that song live cleanly and make it sound the way that I want it to. And it also reflects in the studio.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, it's just, I don't know. It's partly the EQ and like how the source material turned out. But I'm like, it's something that, you know, I'm showing the EP to somebody and they're listening to it for the first time. When it lands on that track, I kind of feel the need to like, you know, disclosure, like, I don't love this one.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't even remember what it's called right now.
Is that the kill track though?
That's the kill track. That's the kill track.
Dead.
Yeah. What were the other ones? Mary and
Kiss.
And Kiss. Okay, cool.
Or PG.
Yeah.
Kiss, Mary, Kill.
Kiss would be Lately.
There you go.
Because it's technical, and I think for the nerds, for the musician nerds, I think that's the kind of like showy one.
I would Kiss that one.
Yeah, that's a
that's
a
good
banger. That's the one that's like, yo, that guy's chops. Like,
yeah, he slaps. That guy slaps.
So that's the Kiss track.
Yeah.
And Mary would be the next track that I'm gonna play. If I've Been Distant. That's a Mary track, I think, because I am really proud of how I took, again, feelings that were just really hard to deal with and that were keeping me up at night and kind of paralyzed me once I got home from work and I had to be with myself and my thoughts, and somehow translate that into writing a piece of music that actually, in my opinion, really encapsulated how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really special piece for me because of that.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Amazing. I would also indeed take that out to dinner. Maybe marry it. Little nod. Matt, what do you want people to think when they see you play live?
I always joke that I want everybody to cry.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, more than cry, what I tell people is I want people to listen to my music, especially live. I want them to want to call their parents after.
Yeah.
I really want my music to do for them what a lot of my favorite music does for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just give yourself permission to feel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better. And what is next for you? Any shows? Any releases, maybe?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of small little collaborative things. So there's like a folk circle in St. Catharines with me and a bunch of friends, and we love playing music. I'm doing very, very different stuff there, playing upright bass, but I am excited to keep doing stuff with them, and we're gonna build repertoire and play some shows. I've also been playing bass for Sophie, which, shout out to Sophie, and throwback to another session here. So yeah, just doing stuff collaboratively with other people, but also no excuses. I've got to start recording my own material again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've got loads of tunes that I want to write. Slowly trying to develop my chops as a lyricist, and trying not to hate everything that I write.
Yeah.
And so I've got like a bank of written stuff, like lyrics that I actually have to write some music around. But then also some instrumental tracks that I perform, but I don't have recorded for the world, and I gotta chip away at all that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly excited to hear those. And where can we find you? What are the handles? What are the ads?
So everywhere you can find music, I think so, if DistroKid's doing their job.
If we pay them for a reason.
Yeah. Half Decent Heart, no spaces, no capitals, because, art.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I got a Bandcamp too, if you like that.
We'll check it out.
And Instagram, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Matt, for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you. It was a pleasure to listen to you play. If you want to introduce your next song, we'd love to hear it.
The next song is Don't Promise Me Anything, and it's my first venture into writing a piece of music with voice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Play us out.
Starting to think we've been fooled. Don't try to make sense of it. No longer a use for that. We're so It's getting harder to stand. The cracks in the earth make sure at a loss. We're so far from where we were. Don't promise me anything. Don't promise me anything. Don't promise me anything.